Injury updates, anyone other than JAYLEN, and how is JAYLEN doing?
JAYLEN's out there, or was out there a few minutes ago shooting. So it's the next step in his progression. He'll do more tomorrow morning, and we'll know more after that. I don't know if he'll be available tomorrow night. If I was guessing, I'd probably say no, but certainly not ruled out yet from tomorrow night. Not playing tonight. And then Al will be out tonight, and that's just really a maintenance, pre-scheduled day long ago. So he has had a little bit of soreness in that knee, but ultimately, with the stretch we've been in and everything else, this is part of a long season plan.
Is the plan for him to play in Minnesota tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. Starting five then? Starting
five will be the four guys that started at the 1 through 4 the other day in Baines.
Brad, why do you reveal it now? In some games you say the 20-minute or
well, because I think they're probably pretty alert to the fact that we'd be starting a center. So obviously it could be one of 4 guys, but it won't change how they'll have to guard or anything like that. Sometimes when you go small, right, if you start Morris at the 4, you start double bigs, maybe that changes their matchups or even their coverages. I would say that would be why you would, or why somebody else would.
Is Robert active, and what do you need to see?
Robert is active.
What do you need to see out of him, and what have you seen out of him over the last?
Just continued growth and progress. The reason we didn't send him to Maine last night was because we knew that there was a chance that he would play tonight. So, ultimately, all of those bigs, we haven't gotten a chance to get Tyson in the last couple games, and we need those guys to be good for us. And so, if they get an opportunity tonight, I expect that they'll play really hard, and hopefully we'll be good because Nance and Thompson have had their way on the glass with us, in a few games.
What do you know about Burks? Obviously with Utah.
Alec Burks?
Yeah,
I think he's really good. He hurt us at Utah a couple weeks ago, and right before that game, he kind of had his game of the season where he had 20 plus on a limited amount of shots. I was talking to Gordon about him a couple weeks ago. The way that he can score in bursts is unique. He's a good pickup. Now, obviously, when you lose a guy like Korver does a lot of things that's hard to replace. But I think Burks, with his versatility and his ability to score a bunch of different ways, he's a guy that scares you as you're getting ready to prepare for another team.
Obviously, they have beaten Houston and Philly. Do you tell your team that hey, look, their record is what the record is, but...
Yeah, I mean, our team has Twitter, so I think they probably know, but I think, or maybe it's Instagram or whatever.
Snap.
I think at the end of the day, though, we put up not what teams are record-wise, what they're capable of, and we all know what these guys are capable of because we got crushed by them in the preseason, let alone the fact that they beat us last year in the playoffs. So, at the end of the day, when you're playing a 48-minute game, you're not playing somebody of what normally has happened. You're playing what happens in that evening. And in their wins, Thompson's averaging 17 rebounds and 8 offensive, right? In their wins, Hood is at 20 points a game. In their wins, Clarkson's at 20 points a game. You can't let guys get comfortable. You can't let them do that. And those guys are confident guys. So you better take that away if you want to have a chance to win.
Brad, Kyrie top 5 in steals at this point in the season, and he mentioned to us the other day just the different mindset he has at that end of the floor. Are those conversations that you had with him before the season started something you guys continue to talk about?
Not really directly. As far as when he first got here, we talked about how our system's a little bit different than the system he played in Cleveland. About how we guard pick and rolls are a little bit different. Obviously, there's different ways of doing things, and anybody can. There's a lot of different ways to do it. But he has been good about that since he got here. And then there's just little things and little thoughts that I'll add as the season goes on. Now steals is not a metric we really care about. As much as being in the right place and doing exactly what you're supposed to do. To me, if you're in the right position, that's where our steals occur for our team. If you're flying around and playing with effort. So that's those are all good indicators. But you know, I think his positioning's been good, and you know, we need him to be a good defender for us, to be a good team.
In a general sense, Coach, are there specific metrics that you guys do look at that give you some sense of whether a guy's doing a good job at the defensive end of the floor?
I tell you, the thing for me is a lot more, and Jay asked this the other day about charting deflections. I think the thing for me is a lot more of the eye, the visual of looking at film and saying, are we in the right spots relative to the threat that we are guarding and relative to the ball. And you know, obviously some guys have more ability than others to impact the ball, but everybody can be in the right spots. And so that's one of the things that we've gotten better at, but you have to do it every night. So it's hard to say you're good at it unless you do it.
Brad, how does Kyrie handle the ups and downs of the season, especially this year with the frustrating start?
I don't think any different than anybody else. I mean, I think that, you know, when you're in Kyrie's shoes, you probably feel the downs more. You get a lot of praise that you have to manage during the ups. Like, it's not easy either. And I think that he's probably gotten used to it. I think the longer you go through it, the more you really focus on what matters and what's noise, and you move on. The best teams I've been a part of, best players I've been around, have an unbelievable ability to move on. And you know, I think that he shows that very regularly. Thanks.
Thank you.